Okay. Now, who has worked first before entering medicine? Some of you have worked first before going into the College of Medicine, no? Tama?
Yes, Doc.
Yes po, Doc.
Yes po,
Some
Doc.
of you, okay. And some of you have been into the community medicine or community life, no? Nurses or medtech or physical therapist or what else? You've been into the rural health unit. Tama? Into the rural community.
Yes po, Doc.
Yeah. Okay. So, you have seen that medicine affects the life of these people, no? And you can still see during that time that medicine dictates the way of their life, no? The way they perceive health, the way they perceive or how do they want to be treated, it affects them. It affects their medical life. It affects their health. No? So the history of medicine, I just got this in the internet, you know. So pag makita nyo, 4,000 years of medicine. 2000 BC, here eat this root. No? The medicines were all herbal. No? And then in 1000 AD, that truth is heaven. Here, say this prayer. So medicine evolved and they said that religion is part of medicine. No? So there were incantations, there were shamans that will heal you down, quote unquote. And then by the year 1865 AD, sabi naman nila, that prayer is superstition. Here, drink this potion. So the alchemist came to the picture, no? May mga kangkat ng mga potions, no? And then by 1935 AD, nasiring liwatira. That potion is snake oil. Here, swallow this pill, no? So out from being a potion, there were already mga pills, no? Mga tablets nga ginihimo ng mga alchemists. And then in 1975 AD, that pill is ineffective. Here, take this antibiotic. No? There was an advent of the antibiotic by the year 1975. Okay? And then, yan na, nga 2000 century, no? You will see, damo na tasiring, that antibiotic is poison. Here, eat this root. Nabalik na naman kita mga herbal. No? But nevertheless, antibiotics are proven safe and efficacious. No? And if you eat some herbal, if you drink or you swallow or anything, some herbal concoctions or mga pills, no? Makikita niyo permiha butilya nakabutang no therapeutic claims. Tama? No? So still, but people believe it. So kung makikita mo, medicine is just like, there's an advancement, but it's just like fashion. No? Nabalik pag-uso, nauso naman, nalaos naman, nabalik pag-uso. No? But then, medicine is a developing science. So may na mga times nga, kamo may na niyo maaram, in the future, that me as a doctor right now does not yet know. No? So it's evolving. And it has not been just like 400 years, 4,000 years of medicine, I mean. Okay? So it's evolving. Now, the main purpose of learning the history of medicine, bakit kailangan yung malaman ang history of medicine? You have to know what are the objectives of learning the history of medicine. Number one, the authenticity of the history of medicine. If you could see how authentic it was or how paano nagsimula ang medicine, you will see in the later lectures na they evolve from a belief, they evolve from religion, they evolve from science per se, no? Pero damo ang iragintikangan nanay, no? And it's very authentic. Okay. Now, you need to have a careful study of the national and world medicine history. And you need to educate, and there is a need to educate physicians of high moral qualities, no? High moral qualities like hard work, honesty, truthfulness, patriotism, and internationalism. No? You need to know also love for the motherland and to the medical profession. Now, you are still in your first years, tama? Now, in the first year, you will learn the basics. But I know some of you are already experiencing kapoy, exhaustion, mental exhaustion. I've talked to some of your classmates. Makapoy medicine. Guys, makapoy medicine.
And Doc, surviving.
Who's that? Sino nagsabi ng surviving? Sino yun?
Me, Doc.
Paulo. No? You are still in your first year. Remember, guys, later on, I just have some info. So you are still in your first year. You are going to learn the basics in your first year. You have your quizzes, you have your exams almost every day or every other day or every week, once a week. No? And then by the second year, you'll be more overwhelmed. I'm just warning you guys. On your second year, you will be more overwhelmed with your hectic schedule. Kung hindi pa hectic ito yung schedule niya na. So kung feeling niyo hectic na yung schedule niya na, well, brace yourselves because you'll be having a more hectic schedule when you become second years. But you will be having your quizzes 2 to 3 times a day or every day magkakamay-ada ka mong quizzes and exams. And then after that, on the third year, you have, second year is your adjustment period. Okay? First year is your introduction. Okay? And when you turn in the second year, you will really adjust to the life of being a medical student. You will learn to adjust. You will learn to adjust that every day is not in an ordinary day because you have quizzes and exams. You will not be, you cannot attend your family gatherings anymore. No? You have dapat mo bunyag, kasal, bunyag, lubong nga diri maatenderan. And you will adjust. And then when you turn third year, haara na kamo. Nasanay na kamo on second year, so it's no longer new. But the hectic schedule is still there. Pero kay nahaara naman kamo new 1 year nga second year, then it would be easy, brush through na lang. And no, it will not be brush through, pero you have adjusted already. Okay. Now, why did I highlighted love for the motherland and to the medical profession? No? Have you ever heard of the Hippocratic Oath? Mr. Obejas, have you heard of the Hippocratic Oath?
Yes, Doc.
Okay. Does everyone here know the Hippocratic Oath? Have you heard of the Hippocratic Oath, people? Are you there?
No po, Doc.
Yes, Doc.
So later on, I will be telling you about the Oath of Hippocrates. No? So medicine became an independent section of human knowledge only from the time of Hippocrates during the 4th to 5th century BC. Okay, it became an independent section of human knowledge, no? Because amo to na akong sinisiringan una, medicine was just incorporated with the religion, was just incorporated with their legends and their myths, and was just incorporated with their philosophy. Okay, so it became an independent section of human knowledge only from the time of Hippocrates. Okay, so the Oath of Hippocrates is considered a rite of passage for practitioners of medicine in many countries. It requires a new physician to swear upon a number of healing gods to uphold specific ethical standards. So, hantayin ni Hippocrates, if you would know, in the Greek mythology or in the Greek, not only in mythology, but in the Greek times, no, and the Roman times, they have so many gods and goddesses. Okay, so that's why the Oath of Hippocrates was a swear. You swear upon a number of healing gods to uphold specific ethical standards. But now it has been modernized, no, and we only have one God, no. So ito na to gin modernized version. Okay? So yun. The Hippocratic Oath is an oath historically taken by physicians, physician assistants, and other healthcare professionals swearing to practice medicine honestly. It is one of the most widely known of Greek medical texts and widely believed to have been written by Hippocrates or by one of his students, and the oath is written in Ionic Greek at late 5th century. Okay. So the history of Hippocratic Oath in the 400 BC, it first appeared as the Hippocratic Oath. No? And then in 1500s, it was rediscovered by a German medieval scholar. And in the 1700s, I mean, it was translated to English and incorporated into the Western medicine because they believed it was deemed to be incorporated. And in 1948, it was adopted by the World Medical Association. And in 1964, the oath was rewritten and revised by Louis Lasagna, which has been adopted by many medical schools. And up to now, what the rewritten oath or the revised version by Louis Lasagna is what we are using right now. Okay? So this was the Oath of Hippocrates during the early centuries. So can anybody read this Oath of Hippocrates? One lang. We have sino pwede?
Ako, Doc.
Okay, sige, go.
I swear by Apollo, the physician, the Asclepius, and health and all heal and all the gods and goddesses that, according to my ability and judgment, I will keep this oath and stipulation. To reckon him who taught me this art equally dear to me as my parents, to share my substance with him and relieve his necessities if is required, to regard his offspring as on the same necessities, as on the same footing with my own brothers, and to teach them this art, if they should wish to learn it, without fee or stipulation, and that by precept, lecture, and every other mode of instruction, I will impart knowledge of art to my own sons and to those of my teachers, and to disciples bound by stipulation and oath, according to the law of medicine, but to none others. I will follow that method of treatment which, according to my ability and judgment, I consider for the benefit of my patients, and abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous. I will give no deadly medicine to anyone if asked, nor suggest any such counsel. Furthermore, I will not give to a woman an instrument to produce abortion. With purity and with holiness, I will pass my life and practice my art. I will not cut a person who is suffering with a stone, but I will leave this to be done by practitioners of this work. Into whatever house I enter, I will go into them for the benefit of the sick, and will abstain from every voluntary act of mischief and corruption, and further from the seduction of females or males, bond or free. Whatever in connection with my professional practice or not in my connection with it, I may see or hear in these lives of men, which ought not to be spoken abroad, I will not divulge, reckoning that all should be kept secret. While I continue to keep this oath unviolated, may it be granted me to. I think it's cut off.
Sorry. So, where were you?
While I continue, the last part po
I
daw.
continue to keep this faith unviolated. May it be granted to me to enjoy life and the practice of the art, respected by all men at all times. But should I trespass and violate this oath, may the reverse be my toil. Okay. So that was the Hippocratic Oath, the very original Hippocratic Oath. So if you would notice, si Apollo pa,
Yes.
an era, he Esculapius pa, no? And with all the gods and goddesses. No? But if you could just delete the gods and goddesses, the oath is really up until now very applicable. No? So Mr. Timbal. Mr. Timbal, you're here.
Yes, Doc.
Can you read this Hippocratic Oath today? The revised version by Louis Lasagna.
The Hippocratic Oath today. I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability and judgment this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk, and gladly share such knowledge as in mine with those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures that are required, avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say, I know not, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for their problems are not disclosed to me that the world may know. Most especially must I treat with care in matters of life and death. If it is given me to save a life, all thanks, but it may also be within my power to take a life. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. Above all, I must not play at God. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being, whose illness may affect this person's family and economic stability. Responsibility includes these related problems. If I am to care adequately for the sick, I will prevent disease whenever I can. For prevention is preferable to cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body, as well as the infirm. If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art, respect while I live, and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help.
Thank you, Mr. Timbal. So
Welcome, Doc.
that is the Hippocratic Oath of today. So kung makikita niyo, no, it's just similar, may the similarities, no, with the original Hippocratic Oath, and still it will and still holds true the stipulations, or still holds true until now. Okay, so in summary of the, in summary of the Hippocratic Oath, kung ano it aadasulod talaga. So, number one, no, respect your teachers. No, even if you graduate and you become consultants and you become a higher, you 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 become elevated from your positions in life. No, as a doctor, you become the most successful doctor in Eastern Visayas or in the Philippines or in the world. You respect your teachers. No? They are the ones who taught you the field of medicine. No? So ini nga aton mga teachers nga ada aton, no, aton eskwelahan ever since, no. I think some of the teachers there were teachers of my teachers and of their teachers, no. So they have been kumbaga pedestal na tera dida. No? So respect your teachers, any teachers, bisan hinuong nga teachers. No? I know some of you don't like the way they teach. They're may ada mga times nga those teachers are very not in line with the way you wanted to be taught, no, but still they are your teachers, so respect them. Okay? Other one, pledge your life to the service of others. If you had taken up medicine just to have money, no, then you might have chosen the wrong field, no, because if you want money, you just have to take na lang unta business management, then you build your own business, no, mas madagmit it kwarta didto kay sahit pagiging doktor. And I don't say that being a doctor could not be lucrative, because there are doctors that really earn a lot, and some of you may experience those things when you become doctors also, but the sacrifices and the time, no, to become a doctor is not worth it for that purpose. Kung gusto mo la talaga magkamay edahenda mo nga kwarta, then no, medicine is not for you. No, you pledge your life to the service of others. That is the reason why, even if you have a big event in your family, a family event, a reunion, a birthday party, but someone comes and someone calls you that you need to do this because you are a doctor, it is in your Hippocratic Oath, no, to pledge your life to the service of others. Okay. Number three, place your patient's interest before your own. Okay. And it's just like in the number four, protect your patients from harm and injustice. Okay. You treat all patients equally. Remember this, guys. You treat all patients equally, because some of us, when we become doctors, we choose patients. Yes, we have the right to choose our patients, but when in dire need, no, you treat all your patients equally, and you respect patients' right to make decisions. You do not impose, you just recommend. The reason why they come to you, because they wanted your expert opinion. No? So you give your expert opinion, but you respect them to make their decisions. You continue to improve the care you give. No? It does not mean that when you become doctors, you are already all-knowing. Okay? So you continue to improve the care you give. That's the reason why you do your specialty training, you do your residency. But if not, you do your masterals. But if not, you continue to study for your medical life. Because medicine is an ongoing and a lifelong journey of learning. So, amo to nga may mga gina-attenderan kita nga mga conventions, no? Those conventions are not just conventions because makikita niyo una, ay, itang doktor, sige lakat. May the convention, may the seminar, may the ganito. No? But those conventions are being made to update the learnings of the doctors. As what I have told you kanina, no? There will be topics, or there will be things that you know that I do not know, because when I studied medicine, it was not yet there. But bangin ka mo, mahaabot ka mo, no? And there are also things that you will not know, but your lower years will know. Okay? So you continue to improve the care you give. It does not mean that you are a higher year, that you are more all-knowing than your lower years, no? But it just so happened that you took up medicine earlier than them. Okay. Here, you do not become intimate with patients. It was stipulated in the Hippocratic Oath, and it was deduced from it. You do not become intimate with your patients. No? Hino na nagkauyab nganin pasyente nira. What I may na ba to? You do not become intimate with your patients, okay? Bakit ka humana, kung di rin mo nahirap pasyente, pwede. But you do not become intimate with your patients, okay? You try to prevent as well as cure disease, no? As much as we would like, no, to cure diseases, what really matters, no, for us doctors is to prevent it, okay? So tama po ito nga prevention is still better than cure, okay? You try to prevent it as well as cure disease. You protect your patient's confidentiality. You impart your medical knowledge to others. No. You impart your medical knowledge to others. Meaning, no? Pag may damang inahanglan na timubulig mga lower years, you do not become selfish of what you have learned. Okay? You do not become selfish of what you have learned. You impart your knowledge to others. And then, there is also a provision here, if you could see, no, nakabutang. To regard his offspring as on the same footing with my own brothers, and to teach them this art if they should wish to learn it, without fee or stipulation. No? So, if you would wonder, that's one of the reasons why, or one of the reasons why, if you are being treated by a classmate or a co-doctor, no, of your brothers or sisters, sometimes libre ka mo. Di ka mo gipapagbayad, no? It does not mean na okay mag-close nga magsangkay, no? These doctors are just respecting their Hippocratic Oath, no? To regard their offspring as one of them, no? Na kung manginahanglan yung bulig, pubuligan without fee. Okay? Now, history of medicine. Wait, before I finish with the Hippocratic Oath, no, there is no direct punishment for breaking the Hippocratic Oath in modern times. No? Yan nga panahon, no? There is no punishment. But it can be said that malpractice is the same thing, and it comes a wide range of punishments, from legal action to civil penalties. No? In antiquity, and unang nga panahon, the punishment for breaking the Hippocratic Oath could range from a penalty or to losing the right to practice of medicine. Okay? History of medicine includes general history of medicine, which will study the key issues of medicine development in general, its characteristics and distinctive features, achievements and discoveries of famous medical scientists, and we have a private history of medicine, which deals with the origin and development of certain medical disciplines and activities of outstanding physicians. Why do we need the knowledge, the history of medicine? Okay? It is for the formation of scientific thought of doctors. Given that the past is unknowable or at least inaccessible to direct perception, any account of the history of medicine is dependent on the precise perspective from which it is written and on the selection and analysis of our particular sources. Okay? Learning the history of medicine is an attempt to establish a middle way between these distinctive and sometimes competing formulations of the physician's thought. We need to know the history of medicine for cautions against hasty generalizations and conclusions, to know the knowledge of the glorious traditions of Filipino and foreign medicine, and to know the knowledge and the identity and originality of medicine of various peoples. So how do you define medicine? Given the extent to which it penetrates the physical, the psychological, and even the spiritual dimensions of human existence, as what I have said kanina, it is no surprise that medicine constitutes a vast territory. Okay? So in Latin, medicine is from the Latin word medicina, from the word medico, which means to treat or heal. It is a system of scientific knowledge and practical activities aimed at preserving and improving the health of people, prevention and treatment of human disease. Now, health is closely related to the construction of the state and public policy. No? That's the reason why the Department of Health is there, because they are the public policy, health policy making body, with the material conditions of community life, and with the level of development of productive forces, and with the development of natural science and philosophy. You know, they are all interrelated. So in the early 21st century, the practice of medicine constitutes the preservation of health and the prevention of illness, the discovery and application of pharmacological tools to combat mental and physical disease. No? The development of novel diagnostic and surgical techniques to identify and remove tumors, heal broken bones, or restore blood flow to ailing hearts, and the formulation of policies designed to protect the national and global public. The use of psychotherapy to reduce depression and anxiety and to promote happiness, and the delivery of welfare services and medical support to mothers and their children, and the alleviation of pain and disability. It has evolved from the medieval until the 21st century. Una nga mga panahon, amo ito. No? Just imagine in the past, the contours of medicine have been more expansive. No? There were shamans, there were alchemists, there were related to the zodiac signs, the astronomy, religion. So in both Eastern and Western cultures, medicine has embraced religion, magic, alchemy, and astrology, as well as the application of herbal remedies, the use of healing rituals, sacrifices, and offerings to the gods, and the relief of poverty. Okay. Now, up and until now, in Bali, Indonesia, or in Indonesia, they still do these things. No, they still when I went to Bali, Indonesia, last year, I mean, they still do these things every day. No, every morning, they still believe that good luck for the whole day and good health for everyone inside that home or inside their houses would be magiging maupay no and health ngan luck han pamilya nga ada sulod nga balay every day when they do this, no, they offer these things to their gods, no? Incenso. So every morning when you walk the streets of Bali, mahamot because of this incense. So the sources of study for medicine, no, the works of material culture, the instruments of labor, household items, lakas, and the drawings at mga panahon, no? The medical literature that was written by different no, nga mga nag-study in medicine from the beginning of time. Literature of other branches of knowledge, no? Because that's what I've told you, they are interrelated. And pre-literate product like epics, legends, fairy tales, and songs. No? So, even though during the Chinese era development ng mga Chinese, no, they really did these things, no? Mayroon nila mga literature and they have written on this Eastern knowledge has been incorporated also to the Western medicine. Later on, we will be discussing about the yin and yang, no, the Eastern medicine, no, how it evolved also and how it is practiced here in the Philippines. So, no, tikang-katikang mayroon talaga mga literatures. This is just a picture of how these people draw, no, hanto nga mga panahon, han mga sulod and anatomy, no, and you would really see how different it is from now, but they have tried doing it, no, hanto nga mga panahon, no, and they know where exactly to find the ribs, no, the spinal cord, no, so makikita talaga niyo tikang hanto nga panahon, medicine was already a science. Okay. Now, does anybody know this? Wala? Mr. or let's see, Miss Cabello, do you know this? What is this? Any volunteer? This is the Code of Hammurabi. Okay. So the Code of Hammurabi was one of the earliest and most complete written legal codes and was proclaimed by the Babylonian king Hammurabi, who reigned from 1792 to 1750 BC. No? The Code of Hammurabi or the Hammurabi Code of Laws is a collection of 282 rules, established standards for commercial interactions, and set fines and punishments to meet the requirements of justice. Hammurabi's code was carved into a massive finger-shaped black stone stele that was looted by invaders and was finally rediscovered in 1901. So 1901 niya na-discover. The Code of Hammurabi, nakabutang na dito ng mga laws, no, pertaining to medicine. No? In paragraph 218, nakabutang, if the doctor has done a great operation for Mr. someone, so ira lang to gin-deduce, no, ira gin-translate into English, no. If the doctor has done a great operation for Mr. and Mr. was dead or making eye surgery, kumbaga na operahan, the cause of vision loss, then the physician must cut off himself hand. No? So ikaw ang doktor, na cause mo na namatayan ng pasyente, dito ira panahon, no? Namatayan ng pasyente or di nga ni nag-operakahan mata and then nabutan pasyente, then it's in their law that the physician kailangan utdunan niya kamot. In Article 219 naman, if the doctor did the operation on a poor man and caused him to death, the doctor has to pay the benefit of the family patient, of the patient's family. No? So, namatay ang pasyente, pero waray kwartang pasyente, imugin operahan, tapos namatay, so ikaw it mapayad, it benefit nga to pamilya. In Article 220, if the doctor did operation to the servant and caused him to death, then the doctor should offset the cost of the slave master. Kailangan bayad gihapon. So, if you really see hadto nga panahon, being a doctor was really a passion, no? Dapat passionate ka ngayon, maaram-araman ka talaga. Because you won't become a doctor if hadto era panahon awinan mga stipulations sa tira law, no? Kung diri ka makarit, ayaw na lang. Kasi you will just be having yourselves, no, in danger, no? Imagine na kung until now amo lagyap ito. Would you still want to become doctors? Kung amo lagyap ito, itaton laws, itaton balao dinhi, diba diri. So, the erroneous views on the history of medicine in primitive society, medicine and religion. No, han una, kung nagkakalurong ka, that's saying you are being possessed. And they don't know that it's a medical illness. Illness and social life, basic medical techniques from animals, and yun. Now, I want you to watch, you have your assignment, I want you to watch the movie, The Physician, no? And then in the next meeting, we'll discuss the core of the movie and how medicine evolved from that time. So, have you watched the movie The Physician? Anyone from you guys?
Yes, Doc.
You have watched it already? You have watched it na? So, for those who did not yet watch, please watch. I'll just be sharing to you the trailer, and then we will see how it evolved. No, it was shown last 2013, I think. So let's see. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Doc.
Okay.
Yes, Doc.
Yes, Doc.
Yes po, Doc.
Doc. Excuse me, Doc.
Walay po audio, Doc.
I think waray audio and waray ba audio?
Yes, Doc.
Oray po, Dok.
Okay, sige. So kanalahin you watch the trailer in your YouTube, and then there is the trailer. I just downloaded it from the YouTube actually. But please watch that movie. Actually nakita man niyo gihapon and gist and movie, even if you did not hear, no. Waray manggod masyado music la talaga to. Waray masyado mga gininakan, no. But if you can see hato nga time they have a pandemic also, no. Ginano nira. Hato nga time still it was a crime to cut someone open. It was still a crime to cut, and it was a punishable with death. So you watch that, and let's discuss that next week. Then we'll just wait lang. We're about to finish with the topics with my lecture. Okay, so yun, the physician. So please watch that, and we'll discuss that later on the next topic, on the next natin na ano. Okay, now just for an encouragement to each one of you, please, if you don't have this on your phones and if you don't have this on your study table, print this out and then read this when you are on the verge of quitting. So, Mr. Capon, can you please read this one?
Okay, Doc. Don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure comes about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt, and you never can tell just how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit. For all the sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are this, it might have been.
Okay, so I know when we were first year also, we had moments na we wanted to quit. Okay? Kamu, nakaka-experience ka mo ito? Guys, nakaka-experience ka mo ito?
Yes, Doc.
Yes, Doc.
So when things go wrong, because it will, yeah, sometimes will talaga. So you rest if you must, but don't you quit, no? One good thing when I was studying medicine, because I had a group of friends that we had the same goals because we were studying medicine. We had the same, how do you call this? We had the same mga panhunahuna because we wanted to finish medicine. And I think you have your own set of group of friends right now in medicine, di ba? May ka mga barkada na yan na. No? It's your second sem already, so I think you have. And my group of barkada were called bullies. We were called bullies, but because not because we were bullies to other people. We were bullies to ourselves. Okay? So kami-kami lang mismo nagpapabuli-buli. No? And namon ibig sabihin la po adto is, no, because sometimes nagfa-falter, no, gusto na namon mag-quit, gimbubuli namon nga, ano ka, bulok ka man. Gusto nim pag tinawaan ka na, so well, but you know, that's what we call our group of friends, no, the bullies. And these people, your group of people right now, are the ones you find a group. Kung haing ka haing ka ma-jive, you find that group, and that group will encourage you to continue on. No? This was my group of friends. Dr. Mingulio, Dr. Noel, Han Magasa pa ako, and Dr. Rimandaban. I think you know them if you have, So this was during our second year medicine, I think, this one. This one was during our graduation day and amon internship. No? Gusto na niyo magsulot in white, nga sugad ito sunod. Encourage yourselves. And these were when we were in the third year. No? And dire pa uson social distancing. This was the whole bully group. My barkada. Okay. So we had days when we had struggles and felt like quitting. We often wondered why we entered medical school, and I think all of you are sometimes wondering, kaya ano pa amoy naginsudlan, no? We had days when people attempted to break us down and even challenge our intelligence and skills and the right to where we are right now. In the future, we will have moments that will question our abilities. In the future, you will have moments that will question your abilities and perhaps your sanity. But we know that you will rise, just like how we managed to get through our 4 years in the College of Medicine. If given a chance to relive the first day of school, I would have still chosen this group of friends to be with. No? Being a medical student was literally hard, but we made our burdens lighter because of this group of people. Okay? And all of us right now are all doctors. Some of them are already consultants, diplomates of the internal medicine who just passed recently, just yesterday or the other day. Yeah, they passed last Wednesday. Dr. Mingulio, Dr. Jesus Lim, these two. The others are doing their residency in pediatrics and surgery, and the others are doing their hospital administration. Duduhahin ni din chief of hospital na. No? Dr. Alidon and Dr. Kempis are already chief of hospitals, and me here in the Department of Health. So all of us right now are successful. All of us have treaded our own paths, but we still have the time to interact and to gather kung may the time. Pero kanya na nga nag-pandemic, syempre, puro lang kami chat group, no? So you have your own group of friends. Encourage all of you, or encourage yourselves, no? Ayaw ka mo, mag-falter. Okay? Yeah, there are times na gusto niyo mag-quit, but encourage yourselves, okay? So I think that would be all for my first day with you guys. And I hope you've learned. And then we will be talking about our next meeting, we will be talking about the physician. No? Any review lang. I will choose someone, no, to do the review. No? So I think that would be all. And good morning, everyone, and have a productive day. And yun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.